What's going on, my little 58 unicorns? For my little red-headed angel, I'm gonna try today not to say a bad word. Don't fault me if I do, but I'm gonna try it. Now let's begin. All right, I'm not gonna get into the whole AMC thing because you guys already know. Basically like 58-ish, whatever. Pre-market tomorrow, okay, whatever. You know where we're going. You guys know about the calls. You guys should already know that there's a lot of pressure on the street right now to start wrapping this up. And Bill, I got your email. And just wait till this thing is in the hundreds. it's gonna make some heads roll over Murdoch. Anyway, my drink. Okay. Here's the deal. The video that I didn't want to do, but I'm doing it anyway because the end of AMC is near. So let me start the process of explaining what's coming. Get ready because he's involved in this. Okay, I'm gonna break it down into two parts. One, the economy. Two, the real estate. Okay, so this way you'll understand. First, you understand what's going on with the economy, then you'll understand what's going on with the real estate. Then for what comes after that, that probably wound up being a different video because economy, then real estate, then we move on. Okay. When I talk about economy, I can say Western economy, but I'm gonna focus on the United States. But if you're in the EU, Canada, Christ, if you're in Australia, New Zealand, we'll try to do the whole thing. Okay, one. It's no secret that the entire world shut down for about 2 years. Okay, hold on that. You know, not gonna say anything because then the YouTube gets, you have no idea the battles we go through. Anyway, but when that shut down, governments started printing mass amount of money and giving it out there to the evil bees, okay? And you know what they did with it? They shorted everything. Okay, we got that already though, okay. But what a lot of people are not understanding, and that shutdown, a lot of people didn't go to work. That means a lot of people didn't go work in farms, factories, manufacturing plants, yada, 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 yada. So things weren't being made, okay? So that led to a lot of production delay, food production delays. Let's just put it this way. Strategic defense issue type delays, like, you know, semiconductor chips, things like that weren't being made because people weren't going to work. How do you run a manufacturing plant that makes little semiconductor chips that are used for everything from pacemakers to cell phones to cars to airplanes, everything, if nobody could show up to work because of okay, let's move on. Okay, so the governments, especially the United States, they were producing basically this idea that they can give checks out to people and keep them at home. Bad idea. So what happened was you turned off something that has never been turned off before. That's not for me. But with this conversation, who the fuck? I tried. 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Okay, my little angel, I'll try on the next video. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going live. So put her to bed because I'm sorry, I'm going live now. Look, they fucking thought that we were gonna basically embrace socialism. And a lot of people did because they were like, fuck it, I don't wanna go to work no more. This is the best sick day ever. Look, I caught the, here you go, strike a pose. Now here's the problem with that. You can't turn off an economy, okay? Now we were doing bad for a long time. Since 1971, we got off the gold standard. What does that mean? Your dollar used to be backed in gold, and in 1971 to finance a lot of stupid things, including a war in Vietnam, you know, a bunch of Puerto Ricans in the jungle fighting a bunch of Chinese people. Look at him, he let Ricky Martin. That kind of stuff. Guess what? It needed money to pay that off. So they made dollars, basically worthless, and printed up a lot of them. And we can fight anybody. Look, we can fight the Russians. We can do anything we need to. Then that caused a massive inflation. I grew up in that time. It was wild in America. Pizza Hut was like 5-star dining, okay? So, you may say, look, but what does it have to do with now? Fast forward 40-ish years, and you had all the nightmares going on. The dot-com crash, 9/11, the wars that spent a bazillion, trillion, whatever, to go hunt down Muhammad and 2 camels, whatever, okay? All this nonsense happened in America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. We were all just piling on this massive debt, just almost like the synthetic Guatemalans, same thing. Bizarre, okay? And the EU, you guys know, right off the bat, the EU currency is Fugazi. That currency doesn't really exist. I don't want to be bad at anything, but the Germans, they don't like the French, and the French don't like nobody. And the Spaniards are like, what are we doing here? And the Brits, at the end of the day, said, ha, we cut the ribbon, bye-bye. So the EU is basically a fantasy, okay? So let's jump back over the ocean, over to America. Okay, what's happened in the last couple of years leading up to, simple. We have been financing the American lifestyle with a massive amount of cheap, easy credit, because that was the only way we can keep this country from fucking going complete Mad Max, like Benny running fucking Brooklyn, like that type of stuff, like chicken at $800. And you may say, well, how do they do that? Simple. Let's say you earn $45,000 a year, okay? But the government takes half of that. I know that you got like $22,000. Okay, but after you take away your gas, car payment for the Hyundai, rental mortgage, property taxes, yada, 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 you're in the hole. You're in the hole. Okay? It doesn't matter even if you were a doctor, you're getting spanked also. You know that, whatever, you people know that. Everybody got spanked. You're like, why did they do that? They wanted to take the money from you. That's how it happens. Investors, we got hit with capital gains, and I think the capital gains were ridiculous, because if you lower that down, people that make money in the market spend money more to do stuff. Make money in the market, spend in business, hires people, yada, 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 whatever. The economy grows. That didn't happen. Okay, nonetheless. So what they introduced was basically, this is a new form of socialism. We are going to give credit out. Basically, the government was going to decide who's credit worthy. You're one of us. And the idea, in order not to have riots, food riots, resistance movements, and yada, 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 they made sure that you had a little card that you could swipe and go, oh my God, I feel so rich. Yeah, you were being set up as a fucking sucker. Because what happened was, at the end of the day, they were using that credit card with that variable interest rate, even if it was fixed, whatever the fuck. At a certain point, it's working against you. Getting out of debt, impossible. Just like your mortgage, it's compounded interest. It's fucking ridiculous. You buy a house for $120,000, you pay back what, $230? Whatever. And it's made out of plywood. Fucking wind comes by, you out there in the tent, like telling your cat, what are we gonna do? The fucking mortgage is still due. Anyway, so we have the situation where most Americans, most Canadians, most Australians, most New Zealanders, love you, your Kiwi superstars in my world. I love the Kiwis. I just love them. I just love the people from New Zealand. I've never met one New Zealander that I didn't like. It's like weird. I'm waiting for that one that still get to a fight in the airport. But you guys are nice, sweethearted people. Australian, you guys are great, but you guys fight crocodiles and fight each other and stuff. Yeah. Moving on. So everybody got in debt. Everybody. You're like, dude, but that's what we're supposed to do. Nah, that's not what we're supposed to do. That's what started to happen. So your lifestyle became something that had to be supplemented by the bank, and the bank was making mad money on fees. So your entire life, your car, your house, basically everything. How many people pay property taxes with a card? How many people pay rent with a card? You get the picture. So all of a sudden this debt starts going on, and the government, they got their credit card. Every agency, everything, they're swiping. Everything is an IOU. They don't pay for nothing. They're just printing these worthless dollars. and China's just buying them all. You know, everybody was buying them. Saudi Arabia was buying them. They were buying our debt. Why were they doing this? Because they were afraid we're going to drop bombs on them. Okay, moving forward. Then something happened. People didn't see what was going on overseas, okay, in the land of the egg roll. Over there, they had a long strategy of one day running the entire world. And in order to do that, they had to get rid of us. So, and when I say this, New Zealand, Australia, my people in Latin America, here, Canada, them and us, okay? So, I'll get into that. I'm giving you a quick, like super rundown of where we're at. Okay, so I got to a point where us and, you're trying to tell them what I have planned for the world. I killed you a long time. I'm gonna hurt you, Luke. I love you a long time too, okay? But they had a plan that we're gonna take over the planet. Why? Because in their country, they're running out of clean water, food, land space, and they fear the people uprising because they have pretty much uprisings every other month and they're getting very bad. Okay, moving on. So since they held all of our debt, kind of like if you tell me to hold all of, you know, your bills, I technically have control of you. Like, I'll lend you the money, I'll just hold your bills. I'll lend you the money, but I'll lend you bills. They had a strategy real simple. They knew they were going to fight us one day. So what did they do? They started lending us money, lending us money, lending us money, lending us money, buying our debt, lending us money. Same thing with the Middle East and everything like that. Here's the problem. We fell into that trap. The politicians fell into that trap, whatever. And now, once we had a certain individual married to an amazing woman, he said, hold up a second. What is this? So, he knew exactly what was going on. So he started to turn around the wheel on the giant bus before it went off the cliff. That wheel never turned off. For 50 years, it was going in one direction right off the cliff. And then all of a sudden, and all of a sudden, the whole world shut down. And while we were shut down at home, when is Uber Eats getting here with my chicken wing? Over on the other side of the world, they didn't shut down. They were working hard, making sure their economy is strong, building their military, building their navy, and making sure that they're going to buy everything pennies on the dollar in New Zealand, Australia, Canada, America, and the EU. Okay? You Australians, you know what they did to your farmland. You Kiwis know they're going to come into your waters to take your seafood and other natural resources. Look at the South Pacific. The Canadians right now, God bless you, but you guys are right now, you know, they're there, they own it. Okay, so just gonna move on. Understand what kind of stuff I'm telling you with this video. Okay, so the last domino to fall is the US. Okay, because in order for the egg rolls to raise up, okay, we gotta fall. Why? We have amazing resources, amazing. We have natural gas, crude, lithium. We have food, an abundance of food, a massive amounts of food. The Great Plains alone, food, natural resources, lumber, everything. I mean, we have it, okay? And we have an amazing coastal spread that produces a lot of seafood. That's food, okay? And we have something that most of the world desires in the future, clean water. All right, so the people over there, they want it. But here's the problem. To take that away from us, they have to deal with a lot of fucking crazy bastards. And considering that half my family was killing those motherfuckers for a while, and it's in our blood to basically say, hold up. That day, there will be no more racism in America. I guarantee it. You will see a black person next to a Hasidic man, next to everybody that you could transmit for that, whatever. But I'm just getting ahead. So the egg roll people, okay, so they understood that, and they're smart people, very smart, brilliant. I don't take that away from them. even though my bloodline killed a lot of you people, but I don't take it away from you. Oh, that's Lou. They understood that the only way to defeat the Western world, us, is we would have to be broken financially. So that has been underway. And you can look into this. I'm just doing an abbreviated version so I could do a video that doesn't have you for 5 hours. So our economy has been under attack. Okay? If you take a look at across America, high unemployment, everything, and that side of the world's coming in and buying a lot of things. Buying our farmlands, buying our manufacturing plants. Detroit, all those old factories, that's all being bought. All the homes, they're being bought. Everything is being bought, whatever. Now, you may say, but Lou, but I don't understand. How does that affect us? Simple. Remember the people that we fight every day, the D's, the little D's? Okay. They understood the writing on the wall. Live the fuck another day. So they made a decision. Who we're gonna serve. So, that is also, they have their version as well. So, deals were made. And basically, the shorting of all the companies that you saw during coronavirus to destroy us down to nothing was also a bigger scheme in order to make sure that employment levels were obviously gone because people were just basically at home unemployed. Businesses went out, nonsense happened completely, and America today, the economy is in shambles. What's keeping it up? Credit. Your credit card, your mortgage, your car payment. Hi, could I extend 3 more months? Thank you. That we're living in a matrix economy. I ain't saying something for Lou, but I don't understand. Why would the D's and the little D's do that? Aren't they like American? No, they're not. they're that. Okay, they don't give a fuck. They have no allegiance to nobody. They got allegiance to their class. Okay, so now that we all kind of know where we're at, what's going on? That's the economy. We have people from within, very wealthy, the elite, structuring us to break us down, chop us down, so we could be bought out by the going to kill Lou. Yeah, we got those people over there. Now, that being said, as you can see, all the craziness we have, all the riots of last summer, all the protests, fight this, fight that, whatever, all that stuff is basically being targeted towards us in order to break us apart. And you know what? Not for nothing. The roosters have come home because we've done that to other countries. So I'm not a hypocrite. I understand that. I didn't do that. I love everybody. But nonetheless, that's what's being done. So everybody in America understands that America's kind of like dividing. North, south, blue, red, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But it's happening. Okay? Well, I love everybody across the board. And it's hard for me to be... It's hard for a person like me to be a racist because I grew up with everybody. Okay, we puck you, we were like, that's solid. And they told me, you fear them. They're coming. I was like, who the fuck is coming? Like Godzilla? I'm a little fucking kid. I'm like, Benny's not gonna hurt you no more. I gotta tell you what Benny did to them on 4th of July. But anyway, that's where we're at. The economy's to the point it's messed up. She's like, but Lou, what's gonna happen? Remember I told you that they were holding all of our debt, all of our IOUs, all of our bills. And what's gonna happen? They're gonna say, you know what? We don't want this no more. So bye-bye, Yankee. And they're gonna dump it. They're gonna dump their dollar holdings. And when they dump their dollar holdings, they're gonna introduce digital yuan. Guess what? They did. But guess what nobody's talking about? Fact check me when it happens. The death is going to be when they go, the digital yuan, we're backing it in gold. Remember I told you in 1971, the United States split the dollar and the gold. So we had was the dollar and the gold was like whatever. It's what rappers wore. Well, China's smarter than that. China's going, you know what? Digital currency with gold. the new world currency. So remember I told you the D's, the little D's, the goblins, the warlocks and everything, why they would betray us? Because who do you think is going to be the next bank of the world? Exactly. They're just forming alliances and allegiances. So, but Lou, how are they hurting us? I don't understand. Okay. Now you know what they did all to all the companies, the shorting and everything, price, whatever. You know that. Okay? But what you're not looking at is what they're doing to the main backbone of America. Okay? Which is the real estate market. Because the average person, their wealth is normally tied to their home. Okay, so it's hard to break down the American structure if an average American has a home and the home has equity and the equity could be tapped into, and then that puts that person above what Hasalaha and the D's are trying to do. Because if you have money, you can offset a lot of the crazy things that happen. So even though we go through hard times, people can still stay in their homes, they have some money, whatever, and then they can rebuild. They don't want that. What they want is for you to have to leave that home and you're standing and move into rental apartments. And you may say, Luke, well, I'm not going to move to a rental apartment. I got 3 kids, a home, whatever. I'm an attorney, whatever. Exactly. That's why the devils, the goblins, the warlocks, the witches, and everybody else, they're getting money to buy every home out there, to rise prices to a level where you can't buy anything else. Okay? Now, you may say, well, that's crazy. Why would they do that? I'm getting to that. Okay. Right now, people can't afford to buy homes, and homes are being bought up by certain entities all across America. So eventually, what happens is you start to have a situation where people go, you know what? I'm not going to buy homes anymore. I'm just going to rent an apartment. And the devils are like that. Gotcha. Now, once you're in an apartment and you're paying rent every month, you can't afford to buy a home no more. Because why? Every month, you're paying El Diablo. Moving on. You're like, but how is that a housing crisis? How is it going to be a housing crisis 2.0? Simple. The devils, demons, and warlocks and everything else, they're the ones that basically make it available to you these mortgages. Now, they don't issue mortgages to you, but they buy them from the bank. And guess what they start to do? They start to basically turn off the demand for buying the mortgage. So when the bank gives you a mortgage, they don't like you. They hate you. They take your mortgage and they go to contact devil number 1. Hey, listen, I got a mortgage. I put them in the house, and yeah, the price was fucking through the ceiling. It's like $200,000 more than what it's worth. You want to buy this contract? And they're like, yeah, no problem, bring it over. Then they take all your mortgages, they package them up, and they sell them in these ETF type packages, whatever. But don't worry about it. That stuff gets complicated. But they sell you a mortgage. But in order to get people out of their homes, just like a faucet, they turn down the demand of wanting those mortgages, those contracts. And it starts to dry up the money in the street. So people can't qualify. You know, it's a lot of crazy things that happen. Also, the idiots that are in the real estate sector, the builders, they thought, my God, it's going to be great. We're going to have so many homes available. We're going to sell. We're going to build. Well, guess what? There's a glut of homes out there now starting to pile up. Why? Because people, A, don't qualify because of the devils and the banks, which is a different form of devil. But I don't get into banks too much because that's like a supreme, like Luciferian type devil. So I don't talk about them motherfuckers. Okay? Trust me. If you knew what I knew, he would sleep with a gun. Start compose. Anyway. So all of a sudden, you have right now across America, the demand for housing. In some areas, people obviously are, I'm gonna have a home. How much? How was that 100,000 more? Yesterday you told me. It's because the devils are going out there and they're buying everything. They're buying everything. Why? Because they know they buy it today, they'll rent it to you tomorrow for the rest of your life. So the real estate market is having a problem. One, people can't afford to buy the homes, so they're going back to the rent, which is benefiting, you know, them. And at the same time, people are now starting to basically not, you know, how can I just say it this way? It's just like give up, they go to the rental. People are also going to be in these weird financial mortgages that are like adjustable rates, and all of a sudden, what do you mean my payment is fucking $9,000 a month? When I signed, it was $300 a month, but it was an adjustable, whatever. It's basically the loan just changed on you, the variable rate, whatever, over to the apartment. All right. The idea is inside of America to get people away from home ownership and into the rental market. That's why the D's are buying all of the homes in order to eventually to rent them to you. They're also buying rental property managed groups and stuff like that in order to get you in there. So, I gave you a lot of information and all kinds of stuff happening, but here's just say one thing. Lou, well, why is this happening? Simple. Because we're fucking idiots. We allowed this to happen to us. And now it's coming now on top of us. But Lou, how do you know this? You're an AMC guy. No, I'm not. I'm not an AMC guy. I'm a street guy. And I'm a street guy that put together a lot of deals. I didn't sit behind the monitor going, is that line gonna go? No, I structured deals and I look for event plays, and I used to work for some of the best DD researching people. I think the best. And the guy that mentored me and took me in as a retarded son, when he died in 2015, he said it very clearly. He said, what's coming in the future. Not gonna talk about that part, because I talked about the second part when he said he loves everybody. He loved humanity, but he knew what we were going into. So let me backtrack a little bit. The economies are coming to the next evolution. Across the world, they're gonna start introducing digital currencies. Whether you believe in digital currency or not, it doesn't matter. The era of the fiat, the bill, is coming to an end. Now you'll still have it. You'll be able to use it as the first phase. It'll be, you know, bills and digital currency, like digital dollar, digital EU, digital yuan, digital Canadian dollar, yada yada yada. You say, Lou, but why would they do that? Well, it's basically why print them? more synthetic Guatemalan dollars. There you go. It's moving to that level. So what does that mean for the economy? More like, what does that mean for like humanity? Because who's gonna control it? Who's gonna audit it? Who's gonna timestamp it? Who's gonna do all that? Guess what? What we're fighting every day is gonna become mainstream on everything. So when people ask me what's the economy look like, I'm like, fucking like the Titanic when it was going into the fucking iceberg. At first, everybody's dancing the Macarena. They're like, what's that big ice cube out there? Well, guess what? That big ice cube is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, okay? And the day that China does its gold backing of the digital yuan, keep an eye out for that. Because when that happens, where's Lou? Fucking Lou's up there with fucking Bigfoot. Listen, guy, if anybody comes up that road, you know what you gotta do. Here's the reason why. The second that the digital yuan kicks out, China's gonna be able to give that currency to around the world to people to use because of phone. The only reason China doesn't have the world reserve currency is not because people don't want to use China's whatever. It's because China doesn't have an international banking network like the SWIFT system. Okay, but with phones, digital currency, guess what? Everybody in the world, from a taxi driver in Brazil to a farmer in South Africa to a a call center manager in Mumbai, everybody, Tyrone in Brooklyn, you're all gonna be able to have on your phone the Bank of China. Understand? So he dumps all the dollars, making it worthless, and the rest of the world is going to say the same thing. Yeah, okay, no more Yankee. When all those dollars come back to America, like, Lou, how did it come back to America? Simple. All those dollars we print out, they eventually come back to the treasury. So we're going to have all these dollars. So chicken at $800 will happen like the next day. So China's making a wicked, brilliant move. Now, remember, I am a kind of person that I was taught by people that killed a lot of them, and they told me something very smart, that hating them, which they did, but you also had to admire them. They waited years to do this, and now they're doing it, okay? So this shift as China as the world superpower needs to happen for their survivability. If it doesn't happen within a certain time frame, that's not going to happen anymore. So they must dump the dollar, issue the digital yuan backed in gold around the world. Everybody does business with us only. No more shopping in America. Made in China. So, and this side of America, since nobody's going to be able to afford to have a home, guess what? You're going to fall into the rental market, living in a flat, just like the Great Depression. And the D's, the little D's, the warlocks, the goblins, and everybody else, the little ones, guess what? You're going to have to rent an apartment. And that's going to be the reality of it. You'll see doctors renting apartments there, and they're like, yeah, I don't want to have a house no more. It's too much hassle. No, the reality is that the idea is going forward is for everybody to be in apartments, okay? Europe has a lot of that stuff going on, so just understand. I'll talk about the EU in another video. So people tell me, what does this mean? What does this mean right now? One more thing, hold on, the real estate. Everything made for a home. Remember I talked about things being delayed, toilets, mirrors, glass, whatever. Guess where that stuff is made? Exactly. It's made over there in the land of the egg roll. So production is being delayed, killing our vibrant housing economy. Okay? So there's production. Oh no, we don't have no more toilets, like 5,000 toilets there. Oh no, we don't got any more kitchen sinks. There's kitchen sinks everywhere. But that is a way of defeating another enemy without fighting. So our economy is pretty much getting chopped up and destroyed and delayed and fucked up, and coronavirus and everything else you could imagine to it. And now you know why I'm not monetized, right? They put the commercials. I'm like, oh, look, look at that commercial. Look at that commercial, whatever. Like, so all the D's and the little D's are cashing up. What does that mean? They're loading up with physical cash in their hand. Because when the system goes down for the first couple of months or year or so until the new system is implemented and adopted and whatever, if you got cash in your hand, you're going to be fine. Everything's going to be pennies on the dollars. You're talking about Bentleys for like $100, that kind of stuff. We're in that era. And all the people that go, oh, Lou's crazy, Lou's a shill. Let me tell you something. My father on Wall Street was a fucking god in this world. And people showed up a couple of days before his funeral to tell him he was right. So these are not my words or thing. It's from a man that's much more intelligent than you and me could ever become. So that's where we're going to right now. So I just did a quick thing on the economy, where we're going, why it's happening, where it started, what are the trigger points, the digital yuan backed in gold, them dumping the dollar, how everybody's gonna be forced into the real estate market secondary, which is the rental apartment. Yeah, the community, come on to the beautiful community. Don't mind Tyrone and the gangbangers. Well, people. But the idea is to put everybody into that standing, no longer the American middle class of strength. So we're going to be downgraded down to a lower country. China's going to rise. They're going to issue their global currency. And then what is going to happen? Americans here are going to have to live with a lifestyle of hyperinflation. What does that mean? Everything's going to cost much, much more. Why? Because in the world, when we're going to buy something and we want to buy with our dollars, they're going to go, no. You have to buy it from us in digital yuans because they're backed in gold. We don't take dollars anymore. So to buy your hats, your sneakers, your car parts, whatever, whatever it may be, you're going to have to pay more money, hyperinflation. So now do you understand in a quick sense why hyperinflation is coming? What got us here? Who's working against us? Who's partnering up against us? What are the trigger points? Why the real estate market is doomed, because it's been designed to be doomed in that capacity. Because the idea is to get people into the rental market. We say, well, why do they want to do that? Because they want you to pay forever. They don't want to give you a parking space. They want to give you a parking meter. So you're always putting quarters in it. Okay? And you grow no wealth in it. Okay? So that's the idea. So I did my video on it. I did not want to do this video. And I tried not to curse and everything, but at the end of the day, it's just me. This is a very hard subject to kind of like put out there. And I'm going to catch a lot of shit for this, a lot of hate. But I'll do another video. How do you protect yourself on this? Now you're going to say, well, Lou, this is not AMC. This is not AMC. Let me tell you something. What's the sense if you make $1 million with AMC and it only has the buying power of 100,000, but you're in debt for like 300,000 in your life? We're gonna make a lot of money. AMC is gonna pop. It's gonna go whatever. But wealthy people, and I talk to them, I know them. Okay, they're getting ready for the big change that's coming. And for those people that are not from this world, I understand what I'm saying to you is like, fuck it, get the cat ready. These motherfuckers going on eBay. Cats I got. Okay. Oh, people ask me what I do these fucking type things. Okay. That came from growing up in the streets. I met a lot of characters. Okay. And when I went later on into the world and I had to explain things to people, okay, sometimes it helps giving people imagery in order for them to understand. I'm just gonna say, you stupid. Well, how stupid? Like, that helps, okay? How evil's the Diablo? Anyway, how transmifted was he? Take this video and tell me if you want me to elaborate more, because I gave you a 36-minute rundown from 1971 all the way up to the present. I talked about everything in a fast, I guess, entertaining way. Let me tell you something. You talked about egg rolls, motherfucker. I'm like, I know, motherfucker. I'll get you egg rolls. A lot of information. Now, what I want you to do, if you're a real estate broker, a builder, a mortgage broker, involved a supplier, talk in the comments what's going on. Is housing being delayed? Are clients getting rejected for mortgages? Are supplies not showing up? Talk to me. And by the way, one thing that they kill the real estate market, and nobody's been looking, I'm gonna say it right now. The interstate trucker that delivers all the goods, all the lumber, the piping, the flooring, the roofing, everything, guess what? When gas prices go up, which they're going to go because we have a different type of, world we're living under here, that contractor trucker is not going to be able to afford to bring you the goods. So at the end of the day, while everybody's looking at the building sector, I've been looking at the transportation sector. And all I can tell you is, Elon, you better come up with those trucks fast, those battery operated motherfuckers, because let me tell you something, America can't wait. Because when we got gas going, diesel prices shooting up, another colonial pipeline type incident, yeah, things are gonna get a certain way. So a lot of brain dump I just gave you. I gave you the economy, I gave you the real estate, I gave you your standing, the debt, what they're doing, Asia, I gave you everything there, triggers, I gave you something that a lot of people don't look at, which is the interstate trucker, because once that guy can't afford to drive that truck, America's done. Listen to me, let me tell you something. In America, everybody believes we need a strong Air Force, Marine Corps, everything. Puppy nuts, I know you out there. The reality is, if the trucker doesn't truck America, Canada, gone. And that's why a lot of people, we look at what's going on with the trucking sector. Okay? It's very simple. Just like if the planes don't fly, the hotel industry is dead. It's a lot of information. Maybe it'll be all over. Maybe it's too advanced. Maybe you came here for AMC or you came here for Sunday. Like, man, you got egg rolls coming. I get it. So you tell me, this is outside the spectrum that I just talk about AMC and stuff, but I think I'm already like, this is what AMC, and I want to protect you people. And at the end of the day, I'd rather, even if you hate me, you despise my fucking guts, even if you think I'm a felon, a criminal, or this, whatever the fuck you think about me, you know something? I'm a bigger man. I don't want your family to be on the fucking side of the street begging for food, because I've seen countries that have fallen. And let me tell you something. I don't want you or your family, maybe you, but not your family, living in a place like Venezuela, which I love those people, but that's what happens when society falls. And they were rich, still are rich. Okay? Argentina, when the peso collapsed. That's the kind of stuff. So that's the economy, the real estate, the hyperinflation, China influence on us, strategic moves against us, global impact, what's going on. I mean, I talked about Australians, Kiwis, Kiwis. So I went through the whole process. You tell me in the comments, you tell me, you want to keep going down this rabbit hole? Because this has been my world for the longest time. So, love you, Melania. You're safe in Florida. Don't worry about it, okay? I'm coming down there. We'll do scary shit tonight. Protect the cat. Love you, motherfuckers. I want to protect you people. At the end of the day, AMC's our fun, our play, our money. But then we have to prepare for what's coming. Because they're preparing for what's coming. So, love you. Good night. Benito's story coming up, okay?